Sounds
What's going
good.
on, YouTube? Dr. Awe here. It's probably not going to go on YouTube, but the reason why I'm doing this is because sometimes the Season of Conquest can be intimidating or you may have questions, and I'm more than available as your friendly neighborhood R4 to help you with that process, whether it be commanders, crystal tech, or any other questions. Amen. So what I'll end up having you do, Bond, I think is the most valuable thing is what do you want to get accomplished? Because from once you just texted me, it was just like commanders. But is there anything else other than that in Season of Conquest that you might have questions on?
Probably the crystals as well.
Okay,
Because
the
I was
Chris.
reading about it, but don't think I quite got it. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right. So
Hmm.
We'll start with your commander questions. If you could share your screen on Discord, I think that could be valuable. Okay, excellent.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Cool. So as I said, I'm trying to work on Attila, um, Takeda, XG, XY, and Newski. I've managed
Hmm.
to get my Attila up to this at the moment.
Okay.
But this was like recent.
Hmm.
I actually thought of working on Newski, but I wasn't sure if this was the good idea or this. So, what do you think?
Um, how would I say this? So as a 41 million power player who I didn't see your whole account, but I'm assuming you don't have T5 at 41 mil. I don't know. I know
No.
it's around that time. It's statistically possible to unlock T5 around that amount, but realistically, you probably haven't. Um, I think your role is going to be to you know mainly do field fighting, and try to like buff and debuff the enemies as much as you can. So I think Attila and Takeda are a good march. Don't get me wrong. I think it's the second best march for cavalry still today, but they had kind of Attila for sure has to be expertise. Takeda has to be 5.5, 5.1, and I think the expertise is just so much better, and they kind of work in a pair. Attila Attila kind of can be ran with Nevsky in a rally, but that is not relevant for you. Um, and I just think Takeda has very limited uses on where he can be used because he's all about normal attack damage. Usually in the open field, you're worried about doing AoE skill damage. And a lot of commanders with um, with the cavalry are kind of more into doing that for the most part with the skill damage. So I don't think now I didn't see your sculptures, but like just from what the initial reaction is, I don't think Attila Takeda is something that you probably want to do now because of the amount that it takes for you to invest. And then I think that there's just so many better options that you can utilize at a lower state to get it operational, whether it be a Nevsky at 5.5, 1.1 with the Saladin that you already have, or like a XY at 5.5, 1.1 with a Nevsky at 5.5, 1.1. Or I think there's ways to like do it without necessarily kind of locking yourself into that particular long term investment because you're not going to be able to use Attila and Takeda until Attila's expertise and Takeda's
Mhm.
at 5.5, 5.1, and that's not going to happen. At least I haven't seen your account, so I don't know, but I'm assuming you're not going to be able to accomplish that by
No, not soon for
the
sure.
this KVK4. So I think what'll be valuable for me to give you more focused information is can I see how many gold heads that you have? Just go to like Nevsky skills and I can see like how many.
None.
Okay, like it's literally zero.
Yeah, well, I've got a few. Obviously, I get two a day, so
Okay, so your VIP, what's that? VIP 12. Okay, that's good. 13. Okay, perfect. And you're quite a ways off from 14. Once you get to
I just
14.
recently got in. Yeah.
All right. Let me see your troops. How many troops you have? Okay, million T4 calves. That's good. Very good.
I
Um,
would have had two if it didn't get zero. If it didn't get zeroed.
a great amount of infantry. It's enough for one
Yeah,
field
not
march.
really an infantry player, but it's enough for two marches. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say just one, and I'll tell you why. Normally in the season of conquest, especially, it's Crystal Tech that Wales are going to have access to that can get them upwards of 430k troops in a march. If you run that against your 200k, you're done. I don't
Hmm.
care. I don't care what they have. I don't care what you have. You're not going to be able to beat somebody that has over double the amount of troops that you have, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, you want to make sure that you're popping at least a 25% expansions. And I highly recommend the 50% expansion, right? Um, and in order to fight effectively, that's 300k troops, right? But if you only have 300k, then you're not going to have enough to replenish and send that march back out without healing. So I think 400k for me, the math that I did was 30%. So of the actual march I'm bringing. So for me, it's 310k troops. Um, for me, so that's so that's 403k troops that I need at least to comfortably fight and replenish that march. That's my philosophy when it comes to the field fighting. So I would say that's good for like one good one. The archers are a little low, but definitely doable. Here's my blanket information for anybody. You have to get out of the habit of thinking you're just a cavalry player, you're just an infantry player, you're just an archer player. It doesn't really work like that right now. Right now, there's three commanders that are so dominant. I mean, they truly are dominant when it comes to the field. And the issue with that is that they're all a different troop type. So you need Boudica Prime somewhere. She's dominant as fuck. Like on paper, she's good. In testing, she's insane. On paper, she was good, and in practice, she's even better. Right? You're going to need CPO. We all know what he can do. You need the Nevsky. Everybody knows what he can do. Though I call them the big three. I think not using them somewhere is a mistake. And I'm going to tell you why it's a mistake is because it's not like these commanders have to be expertise to be better than some of these other commanders. You can, at 5511, they're honestly better than most of the commanders that are at a 5511 or a 5551 state. Maybe not better than some commanders' expertise, but I mean, pretty fucking close. So I think that using Nevsky, Boudica, and CPO, even if it's 5511, is going to do so much for your account. And I think right now that's the best way that you can spin your sculptures is getting those commanders. Now, it's too late if you didn't get Boudica already. Wait, here's the thing: you can get Boudica. She probably will be on the next wheel, but then you also I didn't see CPO that you have. So if you wanted to try to get that, then you kind of have to do both at once. That might be tough because I don't know what type of a spender you are. So that's like my next question. What type of spending do you do? Are you
Not much,
low,
but
medium?
I managed to get three Season of Conquest commanders last wheel, so no, actually four to be honest. I managed to get all these four in the last wheel, so
Okay,
I might be able to get both of them if they're in the wheel.
okay,
Not the
good.
biggest, but quite lucky.
Right. Do you do any low spending or anything?
I do buy the what, like $5 in America, that daily free chests. I buy it like every day.
Oh,
So
you buy the daily special every day?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, that helps. Anything
yeah.
else?
Um, it depends. Depends on the events and stuff, but
Yeah.
not really.
Do you normally do recharge rewards?
Um, mm,
You said no.
no.
Okay, here's my recommendations for you to get way more value. So you're already doing the daily special offer every day, and that's a phenomenal place to be spending your money if that's what you're going to do in a mobile game. I do the same thing. Now, what I would recommend is I would pick up because you're only 41 million power. You're still developing your tech to get to T5. In your equipment is always going to be important. I would I would recommend shaving off the daily special. Some days, if you're trying to spend the same amount that you've already been spending, right? And you want to make sure that you have the gym supply always. You want to make sure that you have the research supply always, and you want to make sure you have the material supply always, right? Because what that's going to do is give you better long-term value for your account. This is a game that I'm assuming you're playing almost every day, right? So
Yeah.
those are going to give you a little bit more value overall for your account. Now, your commanders, you might not be able to develop your commanders as fast because that's how you're getting a great bulk of your commander sculptures. But what you could end up doing is what is it? It would be to do for 30 days, right? Let's say how much you're spending in a month. It would be $20, maybe $25 depending on the month because it's 4.3 weeks every month. So it'll be like $20, $25 for the materials. It would be $15 for the research, and then it would be $10 for the gems. So that's 10, 15, 25 plus 25. So that's $50 a month for the all of those supplies. I can't stress that enough. You have to start doing that. If you're already buying a daily special every day, like do that. The 7 day material, the 30-day gym, and then the 30-day research are like super insane value. All of those. I still do the research because I'm obviously going to be speeding up Crystal Tech, so that's still relevant to me even after I'm done unlocking all my T5. Um, and then with whatever you feel comfortable with left over, buy the daily special. Um, but I will say this: what you can do with the supplies is that you buy them during recharge rewards. So you spend what is it? Every day you gotta spend about at least it's about $13, the cheapest way to get the rewards. And after you spend for 5 days in a row, you'll get that's an instant 30 legendary commander sculptures right there. And you're already spending enough money to accomplish that. So that's just free sculptures. And because of how the supply works, you're gonna have it over a length of time. So you just re-up on the supply, every time that there's a recharge event, right? So you would maybe buy, two to get to the 2,500 gems. You buy the well, I don't want to get into the details, but there's a way to do it where you can just spend during the recharge reward to re-up on your supplies, and then you just wait to the next recharge, and then you re-up on your supplies again. And it'll average out to the same amount of money if you just don't spend your 5 day special 10 days out of the month. It would be the same amount of money that you're spending now. So that's 10 days less of sculptures, which is a lot, but I think you're getting better value that way. I suggest it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's quite understandable. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it does make sense.
Yeah. So let me look. What if you had to bring out? a murder ball right now, your own mini personal murder ball, what marches would you bring out
So
today?
if I'm like, what do you mean?
So you're about to go fight in the field. What marches are you bringing?
Well, is it gonna be just one or full five marches of cavalry? Because
How many
to
marches
be
can
honest,
you
I can.
bring? How many marches do you feel comfortable bringing?
Well, in the previous KVKs, I was doing three, but that was before Tau was 555. So I don't know. I was doing three, but in season I'll probably go with just two.
Okay, what would you bring out?
Well, I would probably go for Tau and Mina and Saladin and Ike.
Ethelflad? Okay. Okay. So those marches aren't bad. That's not bad. What's your Alex look like?
Oh, I wasn't really working on him.
Oh, you okay? You don't like Alex? Okay, fair enough.
Well, I do to be honest, but um, I said when because I didn't know. He obviously said that there's no such thing as I am a cavalry player and I'm an infantry player because obviously he's a infantry player, commander. But I know how strong he is, especially with like YSG, for example, or um, Charles.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
didn't really like focus on him, but
Mm-hmm.
I know he's strong. I know he's like really strong, but yeah.
Yeah, he is. Now, because you haven't invested in him, honestly, CPO is a stronger version of Alexander the Great. He truly is. Um, they do pretty much the same thing, like almost. Um, CPO has an AOE active skill that's gonna debuff the enemy's health, right? That's similar to if Alex hit three marches with his when he's expertise with a damage debuff. Now Alex's debuff is stronger than the 30% health reduction, but it still has a similar effect, right? They both have instant proc damage. Alexander the Great's instant proc damage is all of it right at once, and CPO's is just over time. They both have a shit ton of attack and a shit ton of march speed. Both of them do, right? They also have a conditional more stats, right? Alex has it on his fourth skill, and CPO has it on I believe his second skill, his third skill rather, and then CPO when expertise works really can gain rage and will do extra skill damage. So honestly, even though a lot of people are running Alex CPO or CPO Alex depending on what you're looking for, I think CPO is a slam dunk commander with Guan Yu. So like if you're trying to make just one infantry march and for your account, I would definitely recommend that. I recommend one of every march at least. I think that you should really think about putting CPO and Guan Yu in your lineup. Now you're very sculpture constrained. I understand that. So what I would recommend doing is going ahead and just foregoing Guan right now. Well, that's the thing, depending on how you want to do it. Guan is available through boxes in like a day. That's something that you could do. Work on him slowly through boxes. Next wheel, make sure you get CPO. You probably can only get him to maybe like 5-1-1-1. But I mean, still at 5-1-1-1, even though that's not ideal, bring him on the field because his last two skills, you get most of the value anyway at the first skill just being unlocked. And then you could go ahead and slowly work on getting him 5-5-1-1 over the course of the KBK. And then who do you pair him with? Sun Tzu is fine. Sun Tzu is fine, but I didn't see your Richard. What does your Richard look like? That's actually yeah, your Richard 5551 Pyramid Richard. A lot of people say, "Oh, Richard's this, Richard's that." He's no good. When expertise, Richard is still super valuable. And I think in your specific case, even though he's not expertise, it's what you have and it's good. He's going to give you some stats. He's going to make you tanky. You're not going to get CPO isn't going to be as heavily targeted, and then with Richard behind it, it's not going to die. So at its core, CPO wants to be supportive, and you're going to do exactly that, right? So I think that's something that you could get going very quickly. I mean, just 5-1-1-1 when you get them, with the Richard that you already have, or if you feel more comfortable with Sun Tzu, that can work too. But I like the Richard personally. Um,
Okay.
that's what I would do with your infantry. You already have an expertise E song. Just get Boudica. If you can get Boudica 5-5-1-1, I promise you, she will not disappoint you.
I've already seen the videos. She's
Oh, she
insane,
she
but
does. I expertise her. She does not disappoint.
yeah,
She
I've
does
heard a
not
lot of things
disappoint.
about her. She's insane.
Yeah. I now it's lacking a little march speed. Archers always have a march speed problem, but I think what you're trying to do is the debuffs, right? That debuff doesn't matter that you don't have T5. That debuff when her active skill that makes them take 35% more skill damage. Um, the whales will appreciate that. I'm gonna appreciate that. And then pairing Esong behind it, it is a solid nuke. Like you're still gonna get good value, and if you can get that to 5-5-1-1, you're gonna have the defensive stats to kind of like match with it. Again, her fourth skill is about it isn't as it's not half, but you get half of the healing factor. I wish you get a little bit more of the damage against infantry, but fine, 1% is fine, right? And then with that third skill there, I think it's what 10% skill damage taken, and then you have a 50% chance to do 5%, and then a 25% chance to do 20%. Like I think it's fine. Obviously that's not the state that you want to end on. She's insane expertise. CPO is pretty strong expertise as well, and then Nevsky's pretty strong. So for your cavalry, if you have relics on Minna and South, for sure. Oh my god, for sure use them because the relics really make that pair tankier. Like that's 40% of defensive stats. I can't argue with that. That's good. And then what you can do is like I really like I don't personally like XY. I think that he's so much better in the hands of a heavy hitter, a whale, or a strong, solid medium spender, which you kind of are. But I think that getting Nevsky in a strong spot is more of a priority. If you can get him to 5-5-1-1 as well, I would really like to see that for your account. And then what you could do is run two cavalry. I would run Nevsky with Minna. Nevsky really wants somebody that does skill damage, right? Let Minna do that for you as a secondary with Nevsky. And it kind of hides the fact you have a Minna that people still kind of feel like is squishy, and he is, but it's not hasn't been as bad. Nevsky Nevsky with Minna is pretty good, and then you could pair Saladin with the South. I think that South is a really good pair with Saladin. You're gonna be tanky as hell because Saladin doesn't have the health, and you finally get health on Saladin on top of his already tanky attributes. I think that's phenomenal, balanced, heavy hitting marches that are still supportive and are going to give you a lot of utility. Is going to give the team a lot of utility. How do you feel about those marches?
Um, I'm just thinking about it, and it actually does sound pretty interesting. I'll definitely give it a try.
Yeah, and I just want to point out a thing of my recommendations. You're utilizing all of your troops in a meaningful way in the open field. Like, of course, you can always just send your T4 to die, in a flag or rallying something. Um, but I think you want to also be able to utilize your troops on the open field as well. What would my recommendations would be of what to do first? I would really like you to see you get that Boudica first because the YSG is already expertise. So that 5-5-1-1 Boudica just looks so impressive already if you can swing it. Then I would probably go ahead and I would try to unlock both at the next wheel. But as far as like universal sculptures are concerned, I would get that Boudica to 5511 first, then the CPO to 5511. And if all you can bring out this KVK is just like the Saladin with the Minamoto or the Saladin with the Sao, then fine. Go ahead and do that, and then work on Nevsky for next time. Um, but because you're a Cav main, I'll leave it up to you whether you feel like Nevsky is super important to you. Because if Nevsky is that important to you, then definitely do the Nevsky 5511, then get the Boudica, then get the CPO. Because realistically, you could run Nevsky with Minamoto, and then you could run Saladin with YSG. That it's not as good, but that's something that can be done. I don't personally like the Martell. I don't think your Martell is strong enough at this moment to like really recommend like a Martell YSG and then bring Saladin with Sal and then Nevsky with Minamoto. I don't think your Martell is good enough for that. Nor do I think any of your other commanders are either. Now what can you do from boxes? You got a couple of options. Guan Yu, if that's something that you want to slowly work on to get the Guan CPO together, because once you do Guan CPO, you will never have to look at infantry again. Um, at least for a very, very long time, years. I think at least a year and a half. I think would be appropriate. I don't think I would have to look at anything else. You could, if Fertilitacator is something that you ultimately want to do, which I can't. I'm not a Calvary player, so I'm not the biggest advocate. I think that you could still do it, but it's gonna take so long. To really get that going. And then you already got these other three investments that I think are more important. Even if you did want to do that, that's something that you could do over time as well. And then who else is in there? I think those are the only things in there that I'm interested in seeing you utilize. Where's your Mamed at? How good is your Mamed? Because that's a great secondary commander. You can slap on a lot of people.
My who?
Mamed the second, you just
Oh,
passed him.
uh,
He's at 10. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would really like to have seen that 5511, but I don't think he's at that good of a usable state at this time. But so not a lot of your other commanders aren't either, so you have to utilize what you have. I don't think that that's the worst thing in the world with a relic, because you're getting 20% health from that. XY has been always been tricky for me. I don't advocate for XY, but I know he's good. He's undeniably good, but you just he has to get going. Like he's good, but he has to get going, like with the skill cycles. And I think sometimes with free to play, or not free to play, but lower spender, you can't really afford to sit there and kind of tank as long to kind of get the rage going to get a couple of skill cycles off. But I mean, when you do, his damage ramps up fast, especially with expertise. I mean, it gets ugly. So like I know that Zhang Yu can be like very dominant, and he is dominant right now. But in the hands of people that can really get in there and do the spank and tank with the XY Nevsky. But if you're not spanking and tanking, I don't see why you would do the XY at that point. Those are my recommendations for your commanders. I think that you definitely have to get if Boudica YSG is something that you're looking to do for this KVK, you have to get to at least 400k T4 archers. I would highly recommend that. Your infantry is fine, and your cavalry obviously is fine. Um, how many speed ups do you have
for
for just the speed ups in general?
I have not. I have used a lot recently.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I was like 30 million a few weeks ago. So
No, so not too many, but that's okay.
Not too many.
You can still try to utilize the archers that you have. You won't be able to, pop that 50K expansion with them really, and use them like tactfully. But if it's gonna go up over time. I definitely would recommend if you're gonna send anything to die, just send some of those cavalry to die. I don't really think you can sacrifice any of your infantry. I don't really feel comfortable with you sacrificing your archers. And generally speaking, you don't have the highest troop count either. So definitely think about doing more fighting in the field and less like garrisoning and rallying structures, just because you don't have as many troops to sacrifice. Um, so definitely protect your account. I'm not saying don't participate, but do what you can
No, I
reasonably
understand.
do.
I understand.
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to say.
Cause I like to
I
see
know what
some
you're saying.
people, they go all in, dude, and they'll zero themselves, for the glory of the kingdom. I don't think you should zero yourself for the glory of the kingdom. I think you should just make other people, the enemy, zero themselves for their kingdom, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
as you told me about the Boudica and CPO and the archers and stuff, I will probably get Boudica, but um, I will not get her out because it will probably be impossible to use her in this KVK. But I'm
Hmm.
hoping that next KVK she's gonna be ready to rock and roll.
All right. Excellent. Yep.
And
All these things take
probably
time.
Newski and CPO are gonna be the next commanders I'll be working on.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Because I do need because this account was actually infantry at the beginning, and
Hmm.
then somehow it turned cavalry because it has insane stats for cavalry. But yeah,
Yeah. How? What does your gear look like? I didn't ask that either, and that kind of
so
can sway your options too.
as it started as an infantry, it has mostly like infantry gear and stuff. So this is for Minamoto. It has a lot of damage, but not a lot of health and defense.
Hmm.
And then got this on my Saladin,
Okay.
and this on my Cao Cao.
Okay. Is that all the gear that you have, or you have more?
Oh well, there is obviously YSG
Okay.
and right.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure a lot of that has to do with Canyon. Um, when was the last time you kind of sorted through your gear to kind of optimize it?
A long time ago.
Okay. Do you mind working on it if we worked on that?
Oh yeah, definitely. That would be
Okay.
amazing.
So what I like to do is just take off all the gear from every single one of the commanders. That's usually how I start. I know it's annoying,
No, no, that's fine.
and
As long as it helps me.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As long as it helps me, I mean, I don't care.
Right. And I am a neat freak, so what I'll do is um this takes a little bit of forethought, but I know where I'm going with my account. At the end of the day, I know I want two infantry, two cavalry, one archer march. I'm probably the most non troop type oriented player you'll ever meet. I'll use anything I think is good. I don't care what troop type they are. I'm not infantry, archer, all no those cavalry are. I'm not like that. I'll use anything I think is good. I don't care what it is. And part of that is that okay, now that I know that, I'm gonna have two sets of infantry gear. One is obviously gonna probably be better than the other one. You're gonna have your main set and then your secondary set. In your case, you might have three cavalry. your main set, your second set, and your third set. Then you're gonna have one set of infantry and one set of archers. Right now, what how you would determine what you want to do is right now, if you had every commander available to you in the game, what would be your 5 marches? That's how I would do it. And that'll tell you probably where you're going to be. For me, that was literally, two archer marches, 2 infantry marches, and I mean 2 cavalry, 2 infantry, and 1 archer. And I made those recommendations. I made that kind of thought process based on what do I think I could reasonably get and utilize. Like by the time, I'm pretty much set in stone with the way I want to do my gear. So, like for you, me visualizing your account, I definitely see the use for at least 2 cavalry, maybe 3, and then if that's the case, just one of the other 2 troop types. Now that might not work with your canyon lineup per se, but I think making gear based on canyon is not really what you want to be doing anyways. But you can always just slap on some blue gear um for your canyon lineup, and it's fine. So your primary commanders as it stands right now are probably gonna be Saladin and Mena. I think you're more likely to throw out Saladin personally because of the tankiness. And then obviously, what would you do next? You think that Nevsky was who you're gonna go for first?
Probably. Now that you were talking about him, because to be honest, I got him like right after I managed to get my Attila to 5-1-1-1.
Right.
Um, and I just recently like started reading about the new skin stuff. And I saw him in like open field and stuff, and he's like really strong. And right now, when I'm talking to you about him, I'm like, oh man, I made a lot of mistakes. But yeah, probably either new ski, but to be honest, I don't know, because I will probably need CPO first for that infantry with, as you said, Richard or
Because right now you could throw out Richard and Ethelflad right now, and that could be your infantry march. Now I'm gonna say this: that's not gonna get you good trades. But I kind of like what both of them are doing. They have march speed. They get 20% march speed between the two of them with their relics, so it's not as slow as it used to be. And then it's a very good combination for buffing for debuffing enemies. And at least at that point now you're utilizing your infantry, right? So that's
mhm.
something that you could do right now, and then the upgrade to that would be get rid of Ethelflad and getting CPO up and then making him the primary. That would be the upgrade to that. So I would just put your infantry gear on your Richard. So start with that. Put your infantry because that I don't think that's going to change right this second. So you have yeah, okay, yeah. The Abyssal Vicious is for cavalry really because it's 8%. So that was kind of like a mistake. Like that really should have been a special talented cavalry helmet. Go
Can you
ahead and
explain
put
me one
on
more?
the windswept warhelm. That march speed I like it. The special talented one is the one I would use. Yes. And then for the chest, you have a windswept chest. I would throw that on. That's totally fine. And then you want that blue shield for sure. If you could go ahead and crit that would be insane. Yeah, it's worth the 2 million. I promise you. For the two and a what's that 2.5% health? Make that infantry beautiful. Okay, perfect. That shield, I still use that shield, and that'll probably be the last piece that I upgrade to the KVK hammer. Like you're
I
gonna keep
mean,
that
ten
for
and a half percent health is quite a lot.
yes, it's very good. And then for the gloves, you got that Seth's brutality. That's a phenomenal piece, phenomenal epic piece. And then you have the Korok's humility. phenomenal piece, especially when special talented. I don't think you can refine that, but that's okay. Next time we can talk about gear another day. I have videos that explains it. The flags. I really like the flags. And then you have that wind scars for the March speed for sure. Throw that because you're people are gonna see Richard and they think you're using Richard. You must be a weak player because there's so many better options. I agree, and usually that means people try to focus you because it's like even though it's a Richard, they're like, okay, he's not going to do any damage as long as I don't get targeted. I'm a bully you. You know, they try to bully you. I still like the flag. As much March speed as you can swing on it, the better. Like I still like the flag because it's what you have. And then for the boots, let's see. The windswept boots are good, but then you have the frost treads, phenomenal piece as well. That's good. In fact, I want to show you what I have so you can see how much better that is now. Now that you swung it, now if you look at your stats, now mind you, you're already getting 10. You're already getting 20% march speed from those relics. Now we're talking an additional 8% from the windswept, 5% from from the flag, and then an additional what is it 4% per piece. I you're moving, so that is going to really
He's
protect your
speedy.
Richard. Yeah, that's going to really protect your Richard from like getting targeted, and you'll be able to maneuver and get away from people with that. I'm not saying you're going to be able to get run away from an XY Nesty, but if somebody's trying to chase you down with infantry, you might get tagged up a little bit, but you'll be able to get away and get back to the murder ball. I like that set.
So, do you think that this set would be good eventually if I work on Alexander or Scipio?
Yeah, the I think with Alexander and CPO, you're not as concerned about March speed because they come with a lot. But for this particular March, that's going to be may be particularly targeted because they see you as a weaker player and might see the Ethel flag behind it. Um, yes, I really like March speed. March speed isn't much of an issue, and there are upgrades to what you're going to be doing. Like we would eventually get rid of the windswept pieces and get legendary pieces in those slots. But for right now, this is what you have. I like it. I really do. You're getting a lot of tanky stats as well. Like if you look at your stats, it's mainly defense. Like 6%, 8% attack technically with the set, and then you get 19% defense and 18.5% health. You're getting mainly tank. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So then let's work on a cavalry set for Saladin. For right now. Um I'm a fan of that Warhelm personally. Especially since the Abyssal Visage isn't special talented the correct way. I really like that the special talented Warhelm for the 8% cavalry defense. The Expedition Warhelm, not that one. The one that looks like a Spartan helmet almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one because it's giving you 8% defense. I like that. Um, and then yeah, the iconic chest is what you have. I'm not a fan of that particular legendary piece, but it's what you have. Use it. And then yes, Heart of the Saint, especially yes, you're gonna keep that probably for most of the game. Um, and then yeah, what you have to offer is the windswept bracers, perfect. The gladiator, the same thing with the Korax humility, very good piece. Go ahead and you don't really need someone isn't that fast. Go ahead and use the flag because it's what you have, special talented, and then more troops is good. Mountain Crushers, it's iconic. It's going to be better with the 3% base health than Windswept Boots for sure. And then go ahead and I guess put Ancient Stratagems for a little bit extra troop capacity. I think that's appropriate. Okay. And you're looking at 20% attack, 25% defense, 11.5% health. That seems pretty solid to me. And
Shabby.
then let's work on that next set. of cavalry. Yeah. Definitely. How much does the expertise? Yeah, how much does that give you in terms of
Uh,
attack? I think it's
or
what, like six and a half, like total. Like equip it so I can see like the special talent. I believe that would be like six and a half total. Uh, I yeah, that blazing axe is trash. Use the Vanguard's halberd. I'll explain why. Look at the Vanguard's halberd right now. Yeah, equip that. That's good. I'm gonna tell you because that Vanguard's halberd gives you 9% of defensive stats, and that only gives you 8% of stats in its attack. So the Vanguard's halberd is it's better as a green piece naturally, and it's giving you the stats that you actually want, especially on mana. Um, then for boots, it's going to be windswept boots probably. I don't think you have. Yeah, boots are really tough for the cavalry. The windswept boots is usually what you can muster until you can get your hands on the legendary boots. They're called the hellish the boots of the hellish wasteland. Those things are insane. Those, yes, you 7.5% uh, cav health. Yeah,
yeah, I need to work on that, but
yeah.
it's
So
not that easy.
yeah, it's not. And right now, you want to get your commanders in a good spot. But once you spin the gems in the wheel to get like your commanders in a good spot, it's all equipment. So once I get Guan Yu for a really long time, I'm just going to be spending gems on equipment. It's going to be all equipment for me. And
Mm.
then go ahead and I guess equipped. Go back to Minamoto. I would say for that cap set because you might want to put an ancient stratagems and a flag on that. And I think those are your three marches right now. Like I would just do those three. Because like you said, Boudica isn't going to be operational. I think I feel like that's better. And now you kind of have like extra gear to throw on people. I don't know what else you're using in Canyon, but wherever you can fit in the rest of that gear, put that for Canyon.
Mm.
Whatever else you got.
Well, that's sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
I hope that they're gonna work out some damage
Yeah,
and
and
kills.
then I'll go ahead and share my screen so I can give you a little inspiration for some of the things I'm working on with my account, so you don't think that I'm just telling you this information because see, here's the thing, people will always tell you what you can do, what you can do with your account, right? How you can make your account better, but then you look at their account and it's not anything what they're recommending, right? So I want to show you my account so you don't feel like it's just I'm pounding sand up your ass, so to speak. Because I really want to exemplify my recommendations. Kind of show you that the proof is in the banana pudding. So I'll go ahead and show everybody else this other screen here. And I'm assuming that you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So as far as I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean with being able to field. So right now, I can't show you. I'm fielding 4 marches right now. At this moment, I'm using Richard with Ethelflad as well, but I'm gonna quickly get Guan Yu, and it's gonna be Guan Yu with CPO, and then Alex with Richard. So for right now, just as a placeholder, it's going to be infantry march regardless, but it's Richard Ethel. Then I have Alex with CPO, and then I have Nevsky with Mehmed actually for the AoE, but in some cases, especially if I'm going to be swarming a garrison, I'm going to use Nevsky with Minamoto. Um,
Mm.
then and then I have Boudica with YSG, and another march that I'm trying to work on over time is Saladin with William, right? Now I can when Saladin becomes 5, I'm getting him through boxes. So when he gets 5-5-5-1 as he approaches that, like, and I don't have William yet, I'll just use South South. It's totally fine. It's what I have, and like I said, it gives you more defense, and they both kind of want to do kind of the same thing, but slowing enemies down. So that's
Mm.
those are the marches that I'm working on, just so you can kind of see where my gear is at. I'm recommending to you very similar pieces. This is my secondary and how I got them labeled. This is first infantry, second infantry set. And then this is my better infantry set here. And then I have my main calf set. Then I have secondary calf set that I'm trying to work on as well. And then I have my one archer set. I don't think I'll ever have more than one archer set. So this is what that looks like right now. And my archer set is kind of out of all of my main sets, my least priority. But I still think that this is very good for and definitely usable in the Season of Conquest. Okay, so with that being said,
Can't
I
wait to see
have
that Boudica. Oof,
yeah. So with that
that'll
being
be
said,
spicy.
you see that I have 2 infantry marches, 2 cav marches, really one right now, but eventually 2 at some point, and then I have 1 archer march. So it's gonna make a lot of sense when you see my troops. I field fight with T4. I don't really farm a lot. I don't have a farm account that I really use on a regular basis. Yes, I have a farm account, but I'm not like an insane farmer, right? So I fight with T4. You'll see that I have enough T4 infantry, so I have 2 marches to pop an expansion that's 620k troops for me, and then I have an additional basically 150k that I can feel when I get severely wounded. The same thing with cavalry. Now I got to work on getting my cavalry up to where my infantry is over time, right? Because I'm going to eventually have 2 cavalry marches. But for right now, I have 1. But you can see how I'm starting to work on that cavalry. And then for
Mm.
archers, you'll notice I have less of that because I only have 1 archer march. I'm
One
always
march.
going to have 1 archer march, and I have exactly I had 400, right? K. And then right now I'm still, working on getting more T4 because obviously I have to train something. My T4, my T5 are always going to be sent to die. Always. I'm not going to field fight with them. I will field fight with them for Altars of Darkness, but that's it, right? Otherwise, they're going to be sent to die. Um, so that's why it's a very specific reason why my troops look like this, because I can make them look like a lot of different things, but that's why I have the configuration that I do. Um, and then I think those are my biggest recommendations. Like again, for my personal projects, Boudica's expertise. That was kind of like my first major project in a Season of Conquest. Um, then what I did was just get all of the other commanders in a usable state. So I got Nevsky to 5-5-5-1. Like I said, Nevsky, Boudica, and CPO are what you need. I got CPO as well to 5-5-5-1. And then Boudica, I just straight up expertise because I just wanted to be done with my archers. I'm truly done with my archers for a very long time. And then now I can just work on developing my cavalry and my infantry. So, like for me, my next project would be to, in fact, you know what? I like Nevsky so much. I might expertise him next, even though I really like the CPO maxed. I think I'll probably end up maxing Nevsky next, and then I'll go ahead and max the CPO, and then I'll max Guan Yu one because that's like I don't have him yet. So I already knew what was coming. So I specifically made my account as Season of Conquest focus as I could. So I literally had saved up. I had almost 2K sculptures. Like before I even, because all I have is Alex and Esong expertise. That's pretty much where all of my sculptures went. And then I just saved sculptures from KVK2 all the way to now. And I migrated back to KVK2 and stuff. So I have enough sculptures here to go ahead and get Guan to a usable state. And then it'll just be, these sculptures be used to expertise, like, Nevsky and then CPO and then Guan. And then what I'm actually using for my gems here is that I mainly just do like Holy Knight's Treasure, Hunt for History and stuff like that. And what I'm doing is that because my commanders are, all of the commanders that I want for right now are kind of like in a good spot. You don't always have to have the very best, but when you get to the Season of Conquest, that's the goal. Just go ahead and shoot for the better commanders right away. And then I'm basically using a lot of my gems now. Instead of it being on wheel and for commanders, I'm using it on equipment. Specifically, I think at the stage that I'm at, right? Once you get to about special talented epics for your gear, you really want to start working on accessories. And this is kind of like a little far out for you, but I think this will be where I'll end it at. Is that I think the best two accessories that you can craft are the concealed dagger, which you can actually get from you can get concealed dagger, I believe, from the Holy Knight's Treasure now. So definitely don't spend your Season of Conquest your season coins on it. But if you can do Holy Knight's Treasure, that's a better way to get this. Concealed dagger is baller because it's going to reduce the health. It's a debuff on a target, so anybody that hits that target benefits. And then I like Mora's Web is what I'll literally craft next. The next thing that I'll craft as legendary is going to be in KVK. Once I get enough season coins, it's going to be Mora's Web for the same reason that Concealed Dagger is good, because it reduces, a tanky stat on the enemy, and then everybody can attack that one target and blow it up, right? Either with your mini murder ball or the other marches that are, fighting alongside you that aren't yours. Then I'm a big advocate of Ring of Doom. A lot of people say Horn of Fury is super good. It is. I'm not going to deny that. But with the way Rage works, Horn of Fury can be very good in sometimes, and then it won't do anything for you other times. Ring of Doom is a more consistent option to give you value, right? And it will give you value. Now, Horn of Fury might be better for you if what you're looking for is the utility, but right after I craft a Ring of Doom, it's going to be Horn of Fury. So I've crafted up 4 of the main accessories I think you should get, and then after that, I'm going to double back and kind of work on and refine some of the gear for, 1 infantry, 1 cavalry, and 1 archer march. Once I get that all fixed up and refined, and we're talking months of time, right? After I get these accessories, then I'll go ahead and work on getting more legendary accessories, if that makes sense. So that's like the plan for my own personal account. And a lot of what I said is I've kind of passed the point that you're at personally, obviously, because I'm 71 million power, but I've done exactly what you're doing right now, just working with what you have, working with the blues, and like I still have like I still use like that flag and stuff. Like the Wind Scars is here. Where the hell is that flag? Flag's on somebody. Yeah, it's on Martell, because I use Martell to just move fast around the map with the infantry, but like the flag could be on anybody. But I still use that. So those are my recommendations for like the whole account overview. We didn't talk about Crystal Tech. Here's what I'll say about that is like free to play. You're not gonna get as far as like anybody else that's spending money. Crystals are more valuable early on than later, because at some point the crystals won't matter because KVK is over for you. So get as many crystals as you can through doing, bastions. Definitely hunt barbs and forts. Make sure that you max like the first day. They're gonna give you some number of crystals like the first day, Like definitely get your crystal mine up. If you spend what you do, there's going to be a $5 crystal mine pack that you can buy in a supply depot. Buy that. It's going to be super valuable. The best $5 you will ever spend in KVK. Um, and then honestly, you just unlock. You just trying to go. You know how just try to get as far as you can in the trees. That's kind of what you want to do. And there's a few things that are like very economic based, like that'll help you, get more crystals. There'll be these things called like um kahars, and you summon them with these things you get called like bone whistles or whatever. And then when you defeat, it's kind of like fighting a lohar. It'll give you a shit ton of crystals. And there's some tech in that tree, in the crystal tech tree, that'll make it give you even more crystals. So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll try to max out um though that specific technology that'll get them the maximum amount of crystals from those cars, and then they'll summon them all at once, and then get a shit ton of crystals that way, usually right before a fight, and then go ahead and speed up. You can't really speed up the crystal tech because you still need your speed ups for research, so that's not a thing that's available to you. But definitely just getting as many crystals as you can, because upgrading your crystal tech is how you get the season coins to get the city skins and the blueprints and whatever else you want from that shop. That's like the main way, is using those season coins, which comes from upgrading the crystal tech. Um, what else can I say? And then once you kind of get as far as you feel like you can get, go ahead and start going back and like upgrading the things that give you the most stats for the littlest amount of crystals and time, like right before the fights, because you just want to be as strong as you can be, like right before the fights, essentially. So those are my recommendations with the crystal tech offhand. I'll definitely make a video where I can like show you more of it. I believe in Discord, somebody in like KVK information has posted, you know, what the crystal tech tree looks like. So you can, and then they have like bundles and stuff if you're interested in buying anything else. Then that's what I can recommend to you, like for right now.
Yeah, I'll definitely consider asking you about it once we are in the KVK, but video would be nice, yeah.
Yeah, you have anything else for me?
Not really, to be honest. I'll definitely ask you more about like the account and stuff in the future. And hopefully in tomorrow's um training,
Yeah.
of my
So
own voice.
what we'll do for that is like I'll be going over, you know, we'll go over open field stuff, but we'll also do some garrison and rally stuff as well if time allows. I'm hoping that it does, because there's a lot of things that I want to. I'm kind of using you guys also to like just have the environment to like record it, so then that way I can show it to the whole alliance and show them things that we should be doing, because this is my personal opinion and viewpoint about the kingdom is that we have a lot of good talent. We have a lot of good talent out there. We got people who we could definitely do a lot on the battlefield, but I don't think that we're coming together as a cohesive unit to accomplish these things. And I think part of the reason is knowledge. But I think another real big important piece of it is we're not practicing together. Um, and
Yeah.
we're not fighting, like learning how to fight as a unit. So like it's one thing to get the information, like okay, people are like, well, let's send them a mail telling them if you don't know how to field fight by this time, like blah blah blah. But it's just like, okay, well, you sent them a mail, but have you actually showed them, the methodology, the practice? Have you trained and put the discipline into the players to like really accomplish what we're trying to accomplish? Like everybody that has an account hasn't been playing for 2 3 years, so I feel like doing this training, hopefully it encourages and inspires more people to start thinking about doing similar things, beyond just the mails. The mails are information. I want to put that information in a real applicable on the job, so to speak, training scenario. And I think that'll be so valuable. I kind of figured it wouldn't be a lot of people in the beginning, but once people see how valuable it is, plus I kind of gave a little incentive, with the $10 reward and blah blah blah, right? To kind of like incentivize people to join. I think posting it and seeing that they get to be on YouTube or get seen and showcase their skills and their knowledge and have fun, with the community, I think is very valuable.
Yeah, yeah. People rather watch the videos or read the mails rather than join such things. So I will definitely screen like record the thing as well and can post it from my field of view on the
Yeah, for
Discord.
sure. All right, man. If that's nothing else, hope you have a good day, and I'm here to answer any questions you have.
Thanks, Daka. I will definitely
All right, no
ask you
problem.
more.
See you.
Take care.
Yeah, bye.